It's time. It's time. It's time to grow and glow. And I have the guide for you. You. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Do y'all know what that's from? I don't even know what that's from. What? Oh, Hannah Montana. Uh-oh. Happy Monday. I think our producer has something that she wants to share with us. We're starting all over the place, but that's okay. But while she's pulling all of that good stuff up, how was y'all's week last week? I'm gonna keep saying it in every single episode. This week has gone by so fucking fast. It just felt like it was Monday. And we're off tomorrow. And happy Labor Day, I guess. Is Labor Day a happy holiday? I don't know. I want to be telling you happy Labor Day, but for those people who celebrate Labor Day, happy Labor Day to you. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are grilling some good food and having some good time and spending time with your families, okay? So you already know what I'm gonna ask. How did you guys do with the channels last week? The only thing that I thought our producer would clear some up. She didn't find it. She ain't find it, y'all. But I think she was trying to find the actual recording of like what it sounded like, so you know that I'm not tripping. And she not tripping is actually a real thing. But all I wanted you guys to do last week was to write a sentence. Let me go back and see what that sentence was. Give me 1 second. Okay, so last week, all I wanted you guys to do was write a sentence that said, when I love myself and know I'm worthy, and then you were supposed to finish that sentence 5 times. You were supposed to finish that sentence 5 times. So let me know in the comments, of course, how you guys did with that so we could discuss it. Now, this week. So, also, too, I need to put that song, Do You Remember the 29th of September? Even though I don't know if it says the 1st or 21st, whatever the words are, but it is September 9th. Do you remember when it first started, September? So we are starting a new series, and this series is about boundaries, and how important boundaries are to us becoming the best version of ourselves, and why we need them, right? So I just want to make sure that we touch on some things, right? But we're talking about boundaries. It's going to bring up some shit that you don't want to talk about. It's going to bring up some discomfort, but it's also going to give you that, oh shit, I needed this. I need to be able to set the boundaries to be the best person that I could be for myself. Okay? I want you guys to know too that growth requires discomfort. So while we are talking about boundaries, like I said before, you are going to be uncomfortable in some parts, but that is good because you're growing, and that's what growth requires. And not just growth, but the freedom that you need for yourself. All right, so you already know how we start. Let's take a deep breath. Hold up, before we take a deep breath, it's Coach Fake. All right, now let's take a deep breath. And this is our affirmation that we're going to use for the entire week. Listen at this. My boundaries are a form of self-respect, not rejection. I'm going to say that again because I think I said rejection wrong. One more time. My boundaries are a form of self-respect, not rejection. Now, while we're talking about boundaries, I know some of y'all may feel like, oh shit, I'm letting this person down and I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but that's not what I want you to think about. Remember, we talked about last month with self-love and self-worth and how those things are essential when we're working on becoming the best version of ourselves. And I know some of us may feel like that we're letting people down when we're setting a boundary, but remember, boundaries are what tell people and teach people how you need to be treated. Okay? Like that is what it is. Now, when it comes to loving yourself and comes to being your most worthy self, boundaries are necessary. You need those because you just need those. That's it. That's all I have to say. You just need those, okay? Now, remember, we're starting a new series and we're talking about boundaries. We cannot talk about something if you don't know what it is first. And you know, I love me a dictionary definition. So this is actually what a boundary is. Listen at this. A boundary is a personal limit or rule that defines what you are comfortable with and how you expect to be treated by others. It helps protect your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well being by clearly outlining what is acceptable and unacceptable in interactions and relationships. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need these. These are essential in your personal life, in your professional life, just all around in life in general. You need boundaries. Now, they also help you define what's okay and what's not okay. That's the same thing of saying what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. You have to make sure you have I like to call a boundary a maybe not a plan, but it's like not a manual. What is it called? Like a boundary is like a rule book. You know what I'm saying? Like there's rules that you have to follow, right? Like there's rules you have to follow when you come into my life. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't like this. It's a boundary that I set. You know what I mean? That's how I want you to think about it. Also, too, I want you to make sure that you're not thinking of a boundary as that you're being mean, but it's you're setting intentions, right? And you're setting intentions on what you deserve out of life and what you know that you deserve out of life and what you know that you will not tolerate at all. Even though, we're talking about boundaries and how important they are, sometimes it's hard as fuck for us to put up boundaries. I'm gonna name a few reasons, but one of those reasons that I want to start with first is fear of rejection. We are scared to tell people no because we think they're not gonna like us anymore. That's why we don't want to put up that boundary. But we need to understand, fuck what other people think, because that shit doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If it pisses you off or you feel like I'm rejecting you because I'm giving you a boundary, fuck you. That's all I have to say. And that sounds so harsh, but it's the truth, right? When it comes to us really trying to do things for ourselves and people aren't aligned with things that we're trying to do for ourselves, then that needs to put up a red flag for you. And you may want to reevaluate the relationship that you have with that person or those people. Another reason is guilt, right? You feel selfish because you're doing something for yourself. And you should not feel guilty for putting rules in place for you. We'll talk about family a little bit, especially if you grew up in a family where you always had to say yes, and every time they asked you to do something, you always had to do it, no matter if it was above your boundary or something you didn't like. But you're an adult now, okay? So you don't need to be worried about feeling guilt from anything that you set for your life. All right. The third one is people pleasing, which a lot of us really struggle with. But also, too, I just seen something on TikTok that says that if you're a people pleaser, it's manipulative in some ways. Now, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but maybe I should do some research to kind of really find out exactly what that means, essentially. And then I'll come back and let you know to see what I found out. Remember, we already talked about previously that, people pleasing is learning to stop people pleasing. You have to learn to say no first. And then once you say no, then you can put up that boundary. But there are steps to, stopping your people pleasing, right? We always want to, be there for people it's hard for us to say no. And also too, when it comes to people pleasing, some of us have been taught that it's your job or your duty to keep people happy, and it's not. It's your job and your duty to keep yourself happy. Fuck other people. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I say that every episode, which I do, because honestly, when it comes to you and yourself, it is fuck other people, because this is you in your life. And again, I'm going to say it again. No one's with you when you close those doors at night. The next one is conflict avoidance. I know some of us think when we set a boundary that it will start an argument, and we don't want to do that. But if it starts an argument, oh well, I guess you'll be arguing. Bitch! No, you're not gonna call me no bitch, because I'm not none of these. I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm not none of this. I want you to think too, by avoiding conflict, you may think that you're avoiding the problem when you're actually making bigger problems. Conflict avoidance it'll only work for a little bit, right? And then all of these problems start piling up. You'll be like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is happening? But this is something that you caused. And the last one is past conditioning. So past conditioning is like with family. And like I said before, we will talk about that another day. Just to give you something, right? If you grew up in a home where boundaries didn't exist, that you don't know how to set a boundary because they didn't exist. Remember, some of us spent 18 years of our lives staying with our family. So some of us hasn't even, what's 18 times 2? 36? 18 times 2 is 36. And some of us are not 36 years old. Okay. And so, I mean, some of us are, but the ones of us who are not 36, we still have 18 of those years that we're still trying to break through, that we still really don't know exactly what to do. That's what we're working on. Right. And if you were not taught boundaries when you grew up for those 18 years, how you expecting to set something that you weren't taught or that you didn't talk about? You know what I mean? So I want us to think about those things. That boundaries are important. I know y'all like, damn, this girl always talking about boundaries. Yeah, you're right, because I think that they are essential. Essential. Essential, I think. We're discussing boundaries. Let's break down the core boundaries that I think we all need to know. With number one being emotional boundaries. Now, this protects your feelings. Now, if you ever felt like someone's emotional punching bag, or if you felt guilty for having feelings, this is something that I think we all need to set in place to be able to protect our emotions. Now, when we're setting that boundary, it may sound something like some of these that I'm going to say. I'm not available to take that on right now. Now, that will be for work. So if you working and they say, hey, I need you to, you already working on a project that's going to take you about 2 weeks. Then they're trying to put on another project that's going to take you another 2 weeks that you ain't even finished the one from the first 2 weeks you got to do. That's for work. Number two, I need space to process before I respond. That's just, if you have a conversation, maybe the conversation was a little uncomfortable, got a little heated. Let me take some time and then I'll get back with you. All right. And the third one is going to be, it's not okay to yell at me. Some of us don't like to be yelled at. So that's you setting up that emotional boundary for yourself. Okay. Number two, number dos. Number two is your mental boundaries. Now, these are about your thoughts, your beliefs, and your values, right? And to make sure that you're protecting those, you have to set up this type of boundary. Now, you don't have to debate anything that you believe, anything that you value with anybody. And mental boundaries would sound a little something like this. We don't see that the same way, and that's okay. So it could be views. You know what I'm saying? Some people are more spiritual than others. So this person could be sharing their spiritual views to this person who is not so spiritual. But guess what? It's not for you to have to, if you're one or the other, you shouldn't have to debate either one with no one, because that's something that you will have to do. So you could say, we don't see that the same way, and that's okay. And another will be, I'm not comfortable with having this conversation. So if somebody is talking to you about you shouldn't think like that, that's not for you to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to have this conversation with you. I'm not comfortable with saying that. Whatever my thoughts are and whatever my beliefs are, that's me. They don't have anything to do with you. All right? I don't know if y'all know who Sasha Kibu is, but that girl's fine. She fine. She fine. She fine. And I know Sophia just so tired of me listening to her. Cause I'm the type of person, when I like something, I play that shit over and over and over. And I'll be like, play it again. Today, I probably listen to her about, how many times you say? I think probably I listened to today about 5-10 times today. But the thing is, I listen to her in different variations, right? So like, I'll listen to the EP that she just dropped, and then I'll go listen to her Tiny Disc. Or like, I'll listen to her Tiny Disc and I listen to her performing live, or you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. That's just with anything or anyone I like, I will listen to it and look at it and watch it just in different variations. So I know she tired of me, but she fine. I'm telling you. I'm gonna put a little video of her in here somewhere so y'all can see. Should've seen the signs, but I look to the other side. But yeah. And then our third boundary is physical boundaries. It's your body, your space, and your safety. Period.
Period. Period. Period. Period. Period.
And that's it, right? And this means saying no to hugs. So if somebody be like, oh, hey, how you doing? And they trying to hug you, you ain't gonna hug nobody. I knew this lady that I used to work with. She's just sweet as pie, but she did not like hugs. And, I know a lot of us are, I don't want to say touchy-feely. I don't think that's the right thing that I should say, but we are we like to embrace with hugs, or we like to embrace with a handshake or something like that, and everybody doesn't like that. So somebody will try to hug her. She would like not be like, ooh, but she would like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that's just her personal her physical boundary. So when you have a physical boundary, that means saying no to things that everybody else doing if you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's also saying no to physical proximity if you're uncomfortable. I'm gonna give you a prime example. You know when you in line at Marshall's or TJ Maxx and the line is long as fuck, right? You hear if somebody be right here like, fuck, you too close to me. Oh, and Burlington. Vamos a dar. Oh my god. So again, even in Burlington, like me and Pia go. And normally when we go to Burlington, it's like later night because they're open until what, like 12 a.m. So we'll go, child. It won't even be a lot of people in it. Me and her be right here. Somebody be all of this on like this to us. Like, back the fuck up. You know, move. Because this is our physical boundary. You're too close in proximity to us. You need to get the fuck away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feel like somebody is breathing on the back of your neck. Like, that shit is crazy.
Oh, oh my God.
Back the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, yeah. But here are some examples of some physical boundaries. That'll be things like, please don't touch me like that. Don't touch me like that. Back the fuck up. Or it could be something like, I need some personal space. Right? And that's just with anything. I think it's like anytime you're standing in a line for something, it's like people feel the need to be all up on you. Like, for what? I don't know, because the line's still gonna go the same place. It's this too. Like, me and Sophia hate this shit. When we go parking somewhere and it's all these fucking parking spaces and someone decide to park literally right beside us. Why do you do that? Wow, what for? There's all these damn parking spaces. You chose to park right here by us. And we ain't even close to the door. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so our fourth boundary. So let me make sure we get back on track. So remember, our first boundary was emotional boundaries. Our second boundary was mental boundaries. Our third boundary is physical boundaries. Now, our fourth boundary is time boundary, which I think this is a fucking huge one because people need to respect our fucking time. And our time is so fucking disrespected. And I don't think people really understand how much they really disrespect your time and not being mindful of your time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's such a big thing. Like, time is one of the most disrespected resources that we have, literally. And that's also, that's because of us too, that we have to take accountability and responsibility for it too, because we're the ones that's saying yes and overcommitting to these that we don't have time for, or that we're showing up late for, which is allowing people to disrespect our time. That's why you need to set a time boundary. Did you get all of that I just said? If not, rewind and play it back. Okay? But, like I just said, it's our most disrespected resource. And people do not realize that. And they need to start realizing it. Okay? Now, time boundaries can sound a little bit something like this, okay? I'm only available from 2 to 4. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be calling me outside of those hours. I'm not available. Right? Or it could be even, you know what I'm saying? I need to log off by 6 p.m. to protect my rest time. So that's for our 9 to 5 working folks. But also, too, most of the things that I want to, when I talk about this stuff, too, is for our entrepreneurs, too, who are who are the powerhouse behind their business, right? To learn how to make sure that they're setting boundaries to spend time with their family, to spend time with themselves, to make sure they're spending time with their partners, they're doing all those things like that. Because when you're running a business and you're the only person, you realize how much time it takes from you, how much energy it takes from you. And that's why boundaries are so important. Okay. The fifth one that we have is digital boundaries, which They exist too, and you need to make sure that you're utilizing this. What you mean, Faith? So a digital boundary can be not texting back immediately, turning off your read receipts because you don't need to know when the fuck I read your message. I mean, you can, but I'm just saying if you want to really set a digital boundary, that these are the things that you need to, or the steps you need to take to be able to do that. Okay. So, and also minding your energy on social media. What you mean, Faith? Take a social media break. It's okay. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Read a book. Do something that is, do something that is going to make your time productive. Remember, I'm not saying everything on social media is brain rot, but should I say 50-50? I would say more brain rot than educational. Depending on if you're being intentional about what you're actually looking at and what you're actually looking for when you're on social media. You know what I'm saying? And setting those digital boundaries could be, I don't respond to work after hours, which is for our working folks, right? If you are working and your time is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 p.m., that work should stay at work. When you at home, be at home and be present with your families, friends, your partner, whoever you're at home with, right? But make sure you're setting that boundary to make sure that you are not burning yourself out. That's also why boundaries are important, because once you're burnt out, it's hard for you to come back. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it is hard. Another one could be, I'm taking a social break, which is what I just said. Take a social media break sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not missing anything. Whoever's there, they'll be there when you get back, right? And if you do miss something, I'm pretty sure someone will tell you, okay? But taking a social break and making sure that you're standing firm on not responding to anything text related after your normal business hours. Stand firm on that. Stand on business. Let me re-say them one more time. These are all the 5 boundaries that we need to know. Emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, physical boundaries, time boundaries, and digital boundaries. Now, I want to talk about some boundary misconceptions that we have as well, because that goes with too why it's so hard for us to set boundaries. Boundaries are rude. No, boundaries are not rude. You disrespecting my time is rude. You disrespecting my time is rude. You being up in my personal space is rude. You yelling at me is rude. All of those things are rude, not boundaries. Boundaries are for clarity, right? Boundaries are for clarity, right? It's not to be disrespectful. It's to set, I'm letting you know what you need to do. Like, that's clear, right? And then the second one is boundaries are walls. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are how you can let the right people in the right way, right? Like, if you want to come into my life, into my space, I need you to respect these boundaries that I have. So they're not walls. We're not trying to shut anyone out. We're not trying to do it at all. We're just trying to make sure that people respect us the way that we respect them. And that's it. I know I said I wasn't going to touch on the whole family, but it's something that we kind of have to talk about, just because us as adults, we still struggle with things that we were taught in our childhood because we were there for so long. We can't fault ourselves for it, but if you're in a place for so long, it's hard for you to kind of shake that off. Shake it up, poo, poo, poo. 'Cause the players gonna play. I'm not gonna get too much into it. You were taught what you were taught when you were a child. You're not a child anymore. Let that shit go. Okay, start working on setting boundaries for you as an adult. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Just start doing things for you and stop worrying about what your family will say, what your family thinks, because that shit doesn't matter, honestly. I love my family. I think they're great. I think they're amazing. At the end of the day, though, there's things that I set for in my life that I want them to respect because this is my life, right? So just make sure you're mindful of that. That's really the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause at the end of the day, you are still a child to your family, right? But in the real world, you are a adult. So there's some big things that have to happen. So that's something you have to think about. Oh yeah, how y'all like this shirt? I put out the closet because I think I'm not running out of all my t-shirts, but damn, y'all gonna see every shirt that I wear. I'm trying to be chill and just wear t-shirts as I'm, just chilling at the crib. So I was like, let me put on something else. Let me do something a little different. I'm breaking the floor down to your Texas. Oh. That's see how Gatsby looking at me. Anyways, that's what, I want you guys to remember when we're discussing boundaries. I want you to know the type of boundaries, what exactly a boundary is, and how you can start setting those 5 boundaries in your life right now. All right. And you already know what time it is. Grow and glow. Challenge. Go. Challenge. So the challenge that I have for you guys this week, something simple. I just want you to write down three boundaries that you already have. But here's the kicker. Then I want you to write down 3 boundaries that you need to have and why you haven't set them yet. What's going on? What's happening? Why haven't you put those boundaries in place? That's what our challenge will be for this week, right? And when we're talking about boundaries, this should make you feel good. So welcome to your feel good station, okay? Get your ass in the bus. Get in the bus, okay? Because when we're talking about boundaries, when we're talking about boundaries, we're setting rules in place for our lives that tell people exactly how they need to treat us. Not giving a fuck about what they have to say, because that shit does not matter. This is my life and this is your life, not their life. Okay? That's all. That's it. That's all. That's it. And this went by really fast because boundaries are something that I think are kind of self-explanatory to a certain point. Just because we all know what a boundary is. It's just hard for us to set something where we don't want to upset people, where we don't know exactly where to go if someone is upset, right? Or what to do if someone feels some type of way about it. At the end of the day, if you are setting boundaries in place that's going to make your life better and make your quality of life better, and people cannot get on board with that, you need, like I said before, fuck them and reevaluate the relationship that you have with them. Okay? And that's how we're going to end our Monday. Now, with it being September, actually, this is actually great. With it being September 1st, make sure you blow cinnamon in your fucking door for, what is it? What blow cinnamon do? I think it's for abundance or something like that. I'll put what cinnamon does.
It is literally my job to remind you every first of the month. Blow that damn cinnamon in your door. Attract that abundance.
But blow cinnamon in front of your front door today. Be grateful. Speak, show gratitude, because you live to see another month, and that's something you need to be excited about. Okay. Now we're talking about boundaries, and you're still like, "Fuck, I don't know exactly where to start. How can I put this boundary in place? What do I need to do?" Remember, I'm your life coach. Come talk to me. I got you. All right. Now you already know who I am. It's Coach Faith. Another week, another glow up. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all those good things like that. And we will see you guys next week. Ciao.